Have you ever encountered people who live like parasites? I've met 3 of them. My name is Violet, and I've had the misfortune of being surrounded by such individuals, my in-laws. They were the epitome of people who never worked hard and always wanted more than they could afford. My husband, Nate, was the only successful member of his family, and, without fail, they treated him like their personal bank. When I first started dating Nate, he warned me about his family, but I was naive and couldn't fathom just how bad things were. It wasn't until after we married that I saw the full extent of their greed. Nate's parents, Ben and Donna, were not only financially irresponsible, but his brother, Shane, was a grown man in his 20s who had never held a job. Not once, despite his age, he acted like a spoiled child, and somehow, his parents never seemed to mind. Nate had a good job while I was a stay-at-home wife. This decision was mutual. His job was incredibly stressful, and he needed someone to take care of him, but it wasn't as simple as just living on his income. His family was always there, pulling at him for more. They expected Nate to support not only us but them too. He paid their rent and utilities while struggling to pay ours, but no matter how much he gave, it was never enough. You need to contribute more to the family, Nate. You're spending too much on Violet. She could work if she wanted money. We're a family of 3, we deserve more, Donna would say, her voice filled with resentment. Shane would add, it's ridiculous that you're paying for her. She's just sitting around the house doing nothing. Ben often chimed in with, Nate, I told you not to spend so much on the wedding. Now you have nothing left for us. This isn't what a good son would do. The emotional blackmail was constant. Despite all this, they never pressured Shane to get a job. Instead, Nate had to pick up his slack, paying for his brother's expenses without question. I never complained about the situation, though I silently struggled. I understood the importance of family and wanted to support Nate, but I didn't realize that I was slowly becoming a victim of their demands. It all changed when Donna and Ben fell ill, one after the other. Their medical bills piled up, adding stress to an already strained situation. One day, Nate came home from the office looking unusually upset. I knew something was wrong, so I asked him what was on his mind. Violet, my parents are really sick. They're struggling to manage everything, and I don't know how I can help them, Nate explained, his voice heavy with worry. Are they worse than we thought? I know they've been in and out of the hospital, but I thought they were doing okay, I said, feeling a knot form in my stomach. They're better now, but the bills are still piling up. I don't know how to clear all of this, and on top of that, I'm paying rent for 2 houses. I need help. My heart ached for him. I'll do whatever I can. Please, tell me how I can help. Nate took a deep breath. I was thinking, if you could move in with my parents for a while, it would save us some money on rent. That way, I can help them with their medical bills and we won't have to pay 2 rents at once. It'll only be temporary. I hesitated. That's a big decision, Nate. I'm willing to help, but if they treat me unfairly, I will leave. I need you to understand that. I'll make sure they treat you well, Nate assured me. If they don't, this is the last favor I ask of you, I promise. We discussed our boundaries, and Nate told his parents about the plan. Surprisingly, they seemed happy about the arrangement, which only raised my suspicions. Still, I agreed. I hoped I wouldn't regret my decision, but as we packed our things and moved into their house, my worst fears began to materialize. At first, Ben and Donna were kind, almost excessively so. I thought maybe, just maybe, they would change, but the real test came when Nate left for work the next day. The moment Nate was gone, they put me to work. I had been under the impression I was there to help with their needs, but instead, I became their personal servant. I cleaned, cooked, did laundry, mowed the lawn, and took them everywhere they needed to go. Ben and Donna were supposedly recovering from diabetes, but you'd never know it from the way they acted. They behaved like I was their nurse, their maid, and their personal chauffeur. Then there was Shane. He didn't lift a finger. He slept until noon, demanded that I cook his favorite meals, and whined about anything I made. He never even bothered to clean up after himself. I don't eat this crap, Violet. Why are you making vegetables? Just make lasagna or steak, he would complain. I'm cooking balanced meals, Shane. You can eat around the vegetables if you don't like them. You're supposed to make me something I like. I'm not eating this. You need to cook like a proper woman. My brother didn't marry you to slack off. You're perfectly capable of cooking yourself if you don't like what I make. Go make me lasagna, now, I want it. If you don't, I'll tell Mom and Dad what you said. Before I could respond, Shane was calling out to his parents, twisting the story to make me look bad. Ben and Donna came running, and immediately, they sided with their precious son. Violet, how dare you say that? It's your job to cook for Shane. He doesn't have to do any woman's work. I'm not your servant. I'm already doing so much for you. Shane can make his own meals, I argued, frustration boiling inside me. But they wouldn't hear it. Go make him lasagna, now, Ben commanded. When I refused, Shane demanded money for takeout instead. Reluctantly, I handed over what little I had. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry, but I didn't. Instead, I decided to keep my calm. I was gathering evidence of their abuse, secretly recording them and saving every incident on my phone. I had to document everything. I didn't want to stress Nate more than he already was, but I couldn't let this continue. For 6 months, I put up with their manipulation and exploitation. Shane continued to do nothing. Ben and Donna acted as if they were incapable of taking care of themselves, and when Nate wasn't around, Shane took out all his anger on me. If I refused to do his bidding, his parents would intervene and corner me until I gave in. By the time the 6th month came around, I was barely holding it together. The final straw came during a severe thunderstorm in July. Nate was out of town for a business trip, and the area was on high alert for tornadoes. Even Nate was worried about us being alone during the storm, but my in-laws? They were too busy demanding things from me to care. Just as I finished making lunch, Shane stormed downstairs. You made that food again? Why can't you just follow Mom's instructions? Shane, Donna and Ben are diabetic. We can't eat rich, greasy food every day. It's bad for their health. How many times do I have to tell you to make my meals separately? You're such a lazy witch. I don't know what Nate ever saw in you. Since you won't cook something decent, go get me McDonald's. Are you out of your mind? There's a tornado alert. You want me to go out in this storm? Stop being dramatic. It's not that bad. This is your job. Get me food or make a new meal. Oh, and clean my room while you're at it. You've been slacking. Absolutely not. I'm done doing your chores. I've already stocked groceries and prepped the house for the storm. From now on, if you don't like something, cook it yourself. What did you just say? I'm telling Mom and Dad. You're going to regret this. He ran off to fetch his parents, like a child tattling at school. I knew what was coming, so I started recording on my phone. Ben and Donna burst in, already fuming. You shameless woman, Ben yelled. We've told you over and over, our son doesn't do women's work. You never listen. You're just an ungrateful witch wasting Nate's hard-earned money. I always knew you were a leech, Donna added. How dare you mistreat my son in my house? We took you in, and this is how you repay us? I'm done breaking my back for this family, I snapped. I do all the work while you three sit around and treat me like a maid. Shane is a grown man. He can make his own food. You don't speak to us like that, Ben barked. It's Nate's duty to support his parents, and yours to care for us. She's gone too far this time, Donna hissed. Since this is our house, Violet, you're no longer welcome here. If you can't respect us, you can leave. Yes, Mom, Dad, kick her out, Shane added smugly. That'll teach her. Before I could react, Donna grabbed my arm and shoved me out the door. I fell on the wet grass, scraping my hands and knees. Thunder rumbled above as I scrambled up and started banging on the door. No, you can't kick me out like this. There's a storm. What is wrong with you? Stop yelling, Donna shouted through the door. This is your punishment. Now you'll know what it feels like to be homeless. This is inhumane. I'm soaked. Let me in. Go ahead and scream, she said. You need to learn your place. If you don't leave, I'll call the cops. They turned off the lights and walked away. Within minutes, I was drenched, shivering, and terrified. I didn't know what to do, until a neighbor stepped out with an umbrella. I saw what happened. Come with me, dear. She brought me into her home, handed me dry clothes, and wrapped me in a warm blanket. As soon as I felt safe, I broke down sobbing. I knew one thing for sure, I had to stand up for myself once and for all. As soon as the storm passed and I had signal, I called Nate. Nate, something happened. What is it? Are you okay? I saw the weather alerts. There was a thunderstorm. The tornado didn't touch down, but your parents kicked me out during it. I'm at the neighbor's house. What? Why would they? I'm sorry, Nate. I've tried so hard, but they've been abusing me for months, verbally, emotionally. Today, Shane demanded I cook him a separate meal and clean his room. I said no, so they threw me out. I can't believe this. I recorded everything. I'll send you the videos. You can decide for yourself. I hung up and sent the files. The neighbor also called him to confirm everything she saw. There was a long pause. Then Nate said he'd be catching the next flight home. Oddly enough, Ben, Donna, and Shane didn't reach out until over an hour after I spoke to Nate. They clearly didn't care what happened to me, until they realized Nate knew everything. That's when the calls started. Suddenly, they wanted me back in the house. I went, but not to stay, just to confront them one last time. "What do you want?" I asked coldly. "You threw me out in a storm without a second thought. What's the point of calling me back now?" "We made a mistake," Ben said. "Let's just move past it. We're family, after all." "Yes, yes," Donna added. "We'll apologize. Even Shane will say sorry." "Yeah, I'm sorry, Violet," Shane muttered. "Won't happen again." "Really? What changed your minds?" Nate called. Ben admitted. "He said he'll forgive us if you do." "We're old and sick," Donna whined. "We can't survive without his support." "Then maybe you should have thought of that before abusing me," I snapped. "I won't live with you again, and I don't accept your apology. Whatever Nate does next is his choice, but I'm done." As I turned to leave, they dropped the act and started begging. Shane even claimed it was just a joke that went too far and that I was being childish by holding a grudge. I ignored them, grabbed a few belongings, and walked out. Later, I told Nate everything. He didn't hesitate. He flew back the next day, went straight to their house, and cut ties. He told them he would no longer pay their rent, bills, or allowances. Shane would now be fully responsible for their care. If that meant getting a job, so be it. Then we started fresh. Nate's coworker happened to be renting out a small apartment. We took it immediately and moved out the following day. Nate also personally thanked the neighbor who had helped me. She's now like family to us. As for Ben, Donna, and Shane, they thought Nate was bluffing. They never made any real effort to change. So, when the money stopped coming the next month, they lost everything. They tried guilt-tripping us. When that didn't work, they hurled insults. We blocked them. Any relative who came to their defense received the videos, and that shut them up fast. It's been a while since then. Nate never sent them another dime. Shane now works in a warehouse and earns barely enough. The three of them live cramped in a tiny camper. Meanwhile, Nate and I have just put a down payment on our dream home. And I'm pregnant with our first child. We've moved on. We're free. And we'll never let parasites back into our lives again.